I see the cooler, but I don't see them.
It's 95 degrees, but Bob Peeler is still making his regular rounds through the homeless camps that ebb and flow along the Spokane River.
Majority of the folks we see are very kind, very resourceful. How you doing with getting your ID and stuff? Is that working out pretty good? It takes a while for them to understand we're here just to give you options, and then you choose what option best works for you.
Bob's outreach partner is Tammy Myers, who works for Frontier Behavioral Health. That's because 1 out of every 4 homeless people are suffering from some sort of mental health problem.
Doing outreach, going out in the field, brings the services to them, builds relationships, and it builds a rapport to get them services, whether it's housing, mental health, substance abuse, quicker than going through, I guess, some of the other channels.
Bob and Tammy hand out water and trash bags as they try to knock down the barriers that have trapped people in a very bare-bones existence on the streets.
In terms of homeless interventions, that's a very successful outcome for our community. So we're trying to invest in those things that we know really make a difference and move the needle.
And that's why the Spokane City Council recently voted to hire more outreach workers to help people like this young woman from Okanagan. Carrie wants a job, but she's worried about her criminal history.
I have a whole list of places that hire felons.
Well, I will definitely see you then on Friday.
See what you can do.
While Spokane is expanding its homeless outreach, the city is scaling back its 24/7 shelter operations here at the House of Charity.
Ultimately, what that means is the loss of about 100 shelter beds and service hours between noon and 6 p.m. It's a temporary loss.
Spokane was paying the House of Charity to provide a 24/7 shelter, but city officials realized they were housing too many people in one spot. There were concerns about overcrowding, robbing these folks of their dignity, and not enough emphasis on helping them find a way off the streets.
We know that our long-term goals for homeless shelter include a very robust housing element, case management element, and a real focus on moving people out of the homeless system.
Spokane was already making plans to have a second homeless shelter that's more focused on providing services up and running by July of 2019. But in the meantime, the city will concentrate on outreach.
Can we talk to you, Ben?
More visits to homeless camps.
Do you want to come and work with us?
And a new program called Hope Works that pays panhandlers to put down their signs and earn $50 a day doing community service projects. So more than ever before, people need to resist giving money directly to panhandlers and make your contributions to the nonprofits and the agencies that are providing more permanent solutions to people experiencing homelessness. When you pull up to an intersection and see someone panhandling, a lot of us wonder if there is something that we should be doing to try to help these folks.
Hey, what are you doing? Do you want to come and work with us?
So now there's a new program offering people who are panhandling a chance to put down their cardboard signs
Wherever you want to sit, sir.
and take a ride to something better.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. My name's Amanda. I work with Goodwill. I don't know if I've talked with you before. What we like to do is we come out and chat with the panhandlers and see if they'd like to work with us for the day. At the end of the day, they would get a $50 Visa gift card.
Caseworkers make it easier for people to say yes because panhandlers are allowed to lock up their belongings in the Hope Works van. But a woman named Barb has to leave behind her dog Sissy with a trusted friend. And that's when the work starts, projects that benefit the community like planting flowers, picking up litter, and all the while caseworkers try to make a connection with people like Tom.
Let's find you something where you're happy doing it, where you feel like you're doing good.
HopeWorks also provides their crew's lunch, but Barb decides to save half of her sandwich for her dog. Like 14% of Spokane's homeless population, Jenna was forced to the streets fleeing domestic violence.
They do want help. They do like working with us. We never have a group that just sits around. We have really hardworking people.
HopeWorks is funded in part by the City of Spokane. The mayor and council feel the program is another way of helping homeless people want to help themselves.
It contributes to their self-worth. I think everybody needs to feel that they're contributing.
In fact, that's exactly what Jenna said after her first day of picking up litter.
I actually enjoyed it. I felt good actually getting in the van and doing something for the community.
Once back at Goodwill, workers get their $50 gift cards, but they're also extended services like help with housing, disability, and Social Security benefits, even a little shopping for wardrobe essentials.
So I need a signature right there from you, John, for the gift card.
And when you ask how they plan to spend their gift card, you realize these people want the same things the rest of us do.
I'm going to pay my phone bill tomorrow.
A point-blank blanket, a backpack.
I'm going to go to Greyhound and see if I can't get all my stuff and see if I can't catch Greyhound to Seattle, Washington.
And then there's Barbara, who went to work for HopeWorks just so she could take care of somebody else.
That's what I was doing out there today when you picked me up anyway, was trying to get dog food. Come here, baby. Come here. Hi.
And while it's hard not to give money to panhandlers, especially to those with pets, the people who know a lot about homelessness don't think that's a good idea.
They get more resources working with us than just getting money from you. It's definitely a lot better to give to organizations than giving to actual panhandlers.
So if you'd like to keep this pilot program rolling, you can make a donation to HopeWorks by texting CHANGE to 50555 or contact the HopeWorks program at Goodwill Industries. We've all seen members of Spokane's homeless population. Well, just 21 months ago, city employee Rex Reichus was right out there with them.
This is one of the places I used to come to sleep. It offered a little protection and a little shelter.
Rex says he was more than willing to work day labor positions, but searching out life's essentials on the street left him little time to find a full-time job.
Not one place does pretty much all of it for everybody, so you have to spend a lot of time actually finding the resources and then going back and forth to them.
Rex had lost everything, including his home, marriage, and sobriety, when he found his salvation here at the Union Gospel Mission.
I'd gone to the UGM and started the program there to get clean and sober. They help a lot once you're through the program to reintegrating you into a workplace.
And what started out as an internship with the city led to Rex landing a full-time job with the Spokane Water Department.
The city took me on. I was one of the first people that started with the city. The UGM's real good about partnering you up with a past work experience or a career-oriented job.
So Rex is happily carving out a new life for himself as a city groundskeeper and can once again afford to enjoy some of his favorite pastimes like bowling.
Rex has been a great addition to the water department. He has very strong work ethics and he does a really, really good job for the city. He impresses me each and every day.
Rex says his faith in God gave him the strength to help himself up out of the gutter, and now Rex worries about other homeless people still living on handouts.
Panhandling, it's basically a Band-Aid to a gaping wound. I believe firmly that you're better off supporting some kind of ministry or outreach that is going to help them in the long term.
So the next time you look past homeless people or wonder what can be done to help them, remember Rex Reichus.
When I think about Rex, it's what I work for. It just makes my heart sing. And now to watch him go out and be able to do good things in community where he's blessing other people, where he's a servant in the community doing good things, that's what we're all about.
It took a lot of work, a lot of help from a lot of really good people, and it feels wonderful to be back being a contributing member of society.
When is less really more? Less watering when it's hot means more water gets to your grass. Use a timer to water early in the morning or at night. Go to slowtheflowspokane.com to find out more ways to use less water.
So, what is love? Teddy bears. Dancing. Love is jokes. Love is making funny faces. First you had to meet somebody, then you had to dance with them, and then you had to kiss with them. You almost got it. At Shauna's Hospitals for Children, love is so much more. Love is walking. Love is standing tall. At Shriners Hospitals for Children, love is being able to hold my dad's hand. At Shriners Hospitals, love is making kids' dreams come true. Every year, Shriners Hospitals for Children helps over 100,000 kids, regardless of their family's ability to pay. Love is playing with my brothers. Love is walking farther.
Will you send your love to the rescue today?
When you do, you're not just giving us the care we need, you're giving us hope.
Join.
Independence. But we can't do it without you. Just 63 cents a day can change a child's life forever, like it did for me. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Please call or go online now. Your call says you care.
Every year, code enforcement, police, fire, health, and other government workers deal with a large number of problems stemming from foreclosed and abandoned homes. Problems such as crime, unkept yards, vandalism, trash, and dumping. And that's just to list a few. These government officials spend a lot of time struggling to find a responsible party to take action on these problems. They research mortgages on the property, call bank 1-800 numbers, and get passed around from bank to bank and from department to department. Meanwhile, citizens rightfully complain. Neighboring home values go down, and elected officials search for an answer. And unfortunately, nationwide mortgage foreclosure rates do not seem to be falling by much. In fact, in many states, foreclosures are on the rise. But there is a property registration solution that provides real relief. Introducing ProChamps, a community champions property registration solution. It's being used in over 130 communities nationwide. And here's how it works. First, your municipality passes an ordinance which requires that foreclosing banks must register the properties upon notice of default on a property and provide information including names and contact info of the bank, servicers, property contact, and others, as well as pay a small registration fee. Sound difficult? ProChamps provides everything needed for this registration system. We do the research to identify these properties, contact the banks, and provide an interactive website where your staff can report problems as they arise directly to the responsible parties. But we aren't done yet. ProChamps has a team of community specialists who have your back. When you have a problem or report a code violation on a registered property, they act as your ambassador to the banks and contact the responsible parties to help ensure the problems get fixed. This program does not change how you normally enforce codes in your community, nor does it create an additional work for staff. We simply add the ProChamps team to partner with and empower you to take care of these problem properties. How much does this service cost? Well, ProChamps shares in those bank registration fees, with the majority of the money going straight back into your community and helping to recover the costs you are already spending on dealing with these properties. This means the program provides revenue for your community with zero out-of-pocket costs. So what are you waiting for? Head to our website, give us a call, schedule a free foreclosure assessment or online demo, and join the 130 plus communities who have already experienced the benefits of partnering with community champions and leveraging our ProChamps solution. Go to ProChamps.com or call us at 1-800-321-CODE and get started today.
Losing a bicycle is frustrating. Many bikes are recovered by the police, but getting it back to the owner can be challenging. Help the Spokane Police Department return your bike if it goes missing. Register it online today. Registration is quick, easy, and free. Snap a picture, enter the bike serial number, give us a description, provide your contact information. Snap, upload, click, registration is that simple. Visit My Spokane section of SpokaneCity.org to learn more or to register your bike for free. Don't have access to a computer? No problem. You can also register your bike at your neighborhood COPS shop.
Is this lady a prostitute or an undercover cop? Spokane police want to keep the men who drive up and down Sprague Avenue guessing.
All right, everybody, let's get this thing rolling.
We can't show you their faces, but for the third time this spring, members of the FBI's Safe Streets Task Force have used either decoys or surveillance to catch Johns patronizing prostitutes.
Brad, did you get the plate on that vehicle?
Right now, our teams are just kind of setting up in the area. We're trying to locate the girls.
Sergeant Kip Hollenbeck supervises Spokane's human trafficking unit.
You watch for, naturally, the clothing, but also they'll have eye contact with you as you drive by. That's generally a girl. She's wearing a long tan dress with a black bag over her shoulder.
Okay, it's northbound on Medelia.
So what's happening now is John just picked up a girl. Our follow units are watching.
I'm going to go by it.
They're going to try to get them to go to their spot where they're going to stop.
In 2015, the Spokane City Council passed an ordinance allowing police to tow the cars of anyone picking up prostitutes on Sprague from Fisk to Hamilton Street.
When you get a second, give me a call. This guy admitted.
On this night, police made 2 arrests and towed a pair of cars. The Johns had to pay a $500 fine, not to mention impound fees.
We're trying to blunt the demand by targeting Johns and people who are engaging in purchasing the traffic victims.
Pimps demand their prostitutes earn up to $1,000 a night, so if police can scare away their customers, it makes human trafficking a less attractive criminal enterprise.
Our other interest is in building neighborhood efficacy. We have businesses that are flourishing out there. We have residents out there that deserve to have good quality of life without finding needles and some of the other criminal activity that goes along with the prostitution and human trafficking activity out there.
Police are also concerned about the women themselves.
I'm fighting cancer, and the bills are huge. I've been doing the heroin because it's for the pain.
This is Linda. The 51-year-old was caught in the middle of a sex act inside this SUV just north of Sprague Avenue.
I don't like having to do this, but if I want to eat or, because my normal Social Security disability that I should be getting hasn't been coming in.
Police don't arrest Linda, but this detective does offer to connect her to services that could help Linda find a way out of the darkness and off of Spokane streets.
So if you call me tomorrow or send me a text at that number and just say, hey, this is Linda from last night, and then what I can do, I'll have the social worker I work with Lutheran Services, I'll have her give you a call.
They also work in partnership with outreach advocates from Lutheran Community Services who are also doing the same thing. So that offer always stands to be called to come and get the victims into services that they would need.
Some of the coolest things that have happened in downtown Spokane lately got their start as great ideas from ordinary citizens. So now the folks at City Hall are hoping to hear more about what's on your urban wish list.
It's important to us as planners and for the city as a whole to understand, everyone's vision for the downtown.
Carrie Snyder came to a recent Downtown Connect event in Riverfront Park. Snyder would like the city to look at ways to make some of our alleys more inviting to people who are traveling on foot.
I think it creates a magical experience. You want to go to a certain place, you want to go to a coffee shop, or you want to go to a bookstore or restaurant. The trip there becomes as special as arriving at the destination.
When people are asked to post their hopes and dreams for downtown's future, many said they want more green spaces, fountains, and little hideaway spots to, for even just a few minutes, call their own.
It transports you to a different place. When you've got your own little place with a pretty window, and maybe you can look at the river, or you can look at people passing by.
And while it may seem there's literally not much room left for improvement in downtown Spokane, just the opposite is true. 20% of our commercial properties are vacant. So now, as part of a 10-year plan called Downtown Central, the City Council will consider ways to make it easier to bring new life to these storefronts.
This is free research for developers. That we're happy to share all the information we have. This is what the vision is. Let's build this vision.
So now city planners want to know your vision for making downtown even more vital and inviting in the future.
Better parking and cheaper parking.
One thing downtown Spokane can't seem to get enough of is more affordable parking. This fall, the city will hear the results of a study that'll find a better way to use the spaces we have.
Welcome to our bus tour of the Central City Line alignment. It's a future 6-mile bus rapid transit project.
And now help is on the way to make it easier for you to stash your car outside the downtown core. The Spokane Central City bus line starts taking shape in 2019. So now's the time to plant a seed in the minds of city planners and let them know what you would like to see downtown, what would keep you coming downtown.
We're going to take that to the stakeholders. We're going to take that to City Council and say, look, this is what people love about our city. This is what they want to see more of at our city. That's the step we're at. Come tell us what's great, and we'll see what we can do to enhance it.
For more information about making out your urban wish list, go to downtowncentral.org. Take a ride with Ben Stuckert and he'll show you Spokane's plan to boost our quality of life without stretching the city's budget.
If we think our roads haven't been taken care of enough and we think we don't have enough police officers and there's too much property crime, one of the ways to solve that without increasing taxes is to increase density.
Stuckert says right now there are more than 700 vacant lots like this one that are zoned for construction of multifamily housing, but not attracting development.
Well, I think this lot's excellent because it's right across from a park. I think we could fit a duplex on here. It's zoned for a duplex. That would be potentially 8 to 10 more people living in this neighborhood.
So now Spokane wants to make it easier for someone to turn some dirt and put these vacant properties to work. The City Council considering regulatory changes that will allow developers to go 3 stories high on some projects and permit building closer to property lines.
So what we should be doing is looking at that regulatory framework, whether that's setback rules or lot widths or heights of our multifamily buildings, so that vacant lots like this can get built on.
Stuckert says changing development regulations is not intended to leave people living like sardines, but rather take advantage of vacant properties already served by existing roads, water, and sewer lines, all things that make new housing more affordable for new residents.
And the more people you have that live in this neighborhood, the better off these new businesses like Fresh Soul are going to do, because people can walk to them. So there's so many reasons why we want density, and the way to get there is to look at why are those vacant lots not being built on now. And the way to get there is really to have more people living in our community, and infill regulations are the way to get there.
Stuckert worries without easing infill regulations, developers will look beyond our city limits and divert property taxes away from Spokane. Spokane is home to some of the nicest neighborhoods in the Pacific Northwest, and so now code enforcement officials are on the move to make sure they stay that way.
Kind of the big things to look at are siding, trim, windows, doors, and roofing, in addition to any structural things that you might be able to see.
Spokane wants to adopt some minimum standards for housing both inside and outside any place that people call home.
Means of cooking, means of heat, light, ventilation, that the place is not overcrowded, that it's, there's adequate space for occupancy.
A lot of the proposed property maintenance codes involve safety requirements. For example, this bedroom window would not meet the code because it's been nailed or glued shut.
And that would be potentially hazardous in the case of emergency escape and rescue. For example, if there was a fire in this part of the house.
The same is true of this broken window that's been replaced by a piece of plywood.
So if code enforcement received a complaint.
However, code enforcement officials won't be showing up at your home at all unless someone complains about an alleged code violation. Even then, the inspection process is designed to get voluntary compliance from a property owner. The city is a lot more interested in education than enforcement, but civil infractions can be issued by code enforcement officers.
Once a complaint is received, it kind of just turns into a standard code enforcement process where there's an initial investigation, some attempts at contacting whoever the complainant was to investigate that complaint.
The new regulations could improve quality of life conditions for tenants living in low-rent districts and also protect the values of the area's real estate. The mayor's housing task force recommended defining minimum standards for housing quality in Spokane, and that led to the creation of these new property maintenance codes. If the city council adopts them, the regulations will go into effect in early 2019. For more information, visit the mayor's Housing Quality Task Force project page on the City of Spokane's website.
Welcome back to the Mayor's Minute. I'm Spokane Mayor David Condon. Today, we're here at the West Central Community Center doing the ribbon cutting on an amazing new 24/7 library. This continues our work with the Spokane City Council on our strategic vision to bring access and knowledge through every neighborhood in our community. These investments by our community partners and by our Spokane Public Libraries is what we're talking about as we continue to build investments in each of our neighborhoods. What's exciting about this opportunity is it really speaks to the partnerships that our library has been focusing on over the last couple years. The partnership that we'll be seeing this fall in front of our voters will be a partnership between our school district and our Parks Department, and really bringing the services to our neighborhoods and enhancing the access to knowledge that is already a cornerstone for our libraries. Again, thank you for joining me on the Mayor's Minute today, and continue to look at SpokaneCity.org for upcoming events happening in our community.
Sometimes life is full of little challenges. You're the only person on the block who forgot it was trash day. Your neighborhood was part of somebody's late night tag fest. The place across the street has become a hotel for transients.
Thank you for calling My Spokane 311. How may I help you?
All problems you can solve by dialing 311.
So the thought behind My Spokane 311 is to provide a centralized point of contact for our citizens. And our goal is to provide quality, knowledgeable, and friendly customer service.
And now 311 is going live online, so you can put down the phone and chat with customer service representatives.
So by adding our online chat function, we found that in today's modern era, a lot of people prefer to use the chat functionality to make a phone call. They're multitasking, they're busy doing different things, and it's easier for them to pull up on their smartphone and be like, I have a question.
For example, Vicky wanted to chat about the availability of parking near the Fox Theater.
So our agents have that type of information in our hands. We know where the different 2-hour, 4-hour, and 10-hour meters are. So we could have directed her to that, but also knowing at the time of the concert that it was going to be after 7 p.m., shouldn't have to worry about the time stays.
Then there's the new Spokane resident who wanted to sign up for garbage collection, and through chatting was able to find out which trash can was the most appropriate size for her family.
And again, you can just do that on your own time. You can do it in your pajamas, sitting on the couch, and not have to worry about trying to get a hold of somebody.
Another way of getting better access to the services you're paying for is to register with 311. That way, if you've made a code enforcement complaint about an abandoned car or nuisance property, you can go online and see what's being done about your concerns.
So at least you're updated and you're aware that the city is doing something, that it was received, and we're making progress.
So let My Spokane 311 be your one-stop way of getting what you need from the city. Everything from signing up for golf lessons,
Ah, man, bummer,
to getting a mulligan on your trash pickup. You can call or chat with people who are ready to help you.
Thanks for watching Spokane Insight. If you'd like more information on the City of Spokane, please check us out on social media or on our website, SpokaneCity.org.